Michael Dawson had just turned 25. On the outside, he looked like he had everything figured out. He had a decent job working in IT, a small but stylish apartment in Atlanta, and a tight circle of friends. But inside, he felt hollow, disconnected from life in ways he couldn't quite explain. His energy levels were always low. His motivation came and went like short gusts of wind. He lacked passion, drive, and clarity. Every night, after finishing up whatever small tasks he had left from work, Michael would scroll endlessly through his phone. It always ended the same way. He'd find himself watching explicit videos, stuck in the same private routine he had followed since he was a teenager. He never thought much of it. Everyone did it. Right. It wasn't until he stumbled on a podcast, one of those late-night listens when sleep won't come, that things began to shift. A guest on the show, a former neuroscientist named Dr. Elijah Barrett, was calmly speaking about the modern epidemic of overstimulation. "You're tricking your brain into believing you're succeeding at life," Dr. Barrett had said. "Dopamine is released not for actual accomplishments, but for the illusion of intimacy, of adventure. The constant release from watching adult content and self-pleasure doesn't just mess with your biology, it rewires your drive." Michael froze. It wasn't the first time he had heard something like that, but for some reason, those words hit him harder that night. Maybe it was how Dr. Barrett explained it. Or maybe it was the timing. You lose the hunger to achieve, to pursue real relationships, to build anything worthwhile because your brain already thinks you have all that. But it's a lie. A powerful, addictive one. The next morning Michael felt different. The same way a person does after hearing a truth they can't unhear. He started researching. He read more about dopamine cycles, about desensitization, about the correlation between compulsive adult content consumption and low motivation. He found testimonials from men who had cut it all out, and described regaining clarity, purpose, and energy. It all sounded dramatic, almost like a cult. Still, Michael decided to try it for 1 week. The first 3 days were the hardest. He didn't know what to do with the free time. His evenings felt longer. He noticed how often he'd reach for his phone, instinctively searching for a distraction. But each time he stopped himself, something surprising happened. His mind started getting sharper. He began writing again. It was something he used to love doing but had long abandoned. On day 5, Michael went out for coffee alone and found himself actually looking around the cafe. He made eye contact with a girl sitting 2 tables away. She smiled. He smiled back. It felt electric. Not because of attraction alone, but because he realized how long it had been since he'd really looked at someone. By day 7 he felt calmer, more aware. The fog he didn't know he had been walking in began to lift. He wasn't cured or transformed into some superhero overnight. But something had shifted. Encouraged, Michael extended the experiment to 30 days. He started going to the gym more consistently. His energy improved. Conversations felt more genuine. He stopped feeling so ashamed and fragmented. It wasn't just about avoiding certain behaviors. It was about choosing intentional ones. What surprised him most wasn't the physical changes, but the emotional ones. He didn't feel like a passive observer in his life anymore. He was participating. Around day 20, Michael signed up for a local volunteer group that helped mentor teens in coding. He met a guy named Chris who'd been through something similar. They became friends quickly, bonding over shared experiences. "You too?" Chris had asked when Michael hinted at what started his self-discipline journey. Chris laughed, nodding. "I went through the same spiral. I thought it was normal. But man, when I stopped, it felt like I got myself back." That conversation confirmed what Michael had started to believe. This wasn't just about a habit. It was about identity, self-control, and purpose. On day 30, Michael wrote himself a letter. Not the kind you burn or throw away, but one you reread when you forget who you're trying to become. In it, he wrote, "You're not weak for struggling, but you're strong for facing it. Don't numb your life when it gets hard. Meet it with strength. Because clarity, real connection, and purpose, they're worth more than 5 seconds of fake comfort." He kept the letter in his desk drawer. Michael didn't vow to never stumble again. But now he had awareness, something most people don't have until it's too late. He started sharing his journey on a small blog. He was careful not to preach. Instead, he just told his story, what changed, what improved, and how it was all connected to a decision most people think is insignificant. Months later, he got an email from a college student named Kevin. "Dude, your story helped me more than you know. I was losing control of everything, and it all started with that one habit. I quit 3 weeks ago. Life is brighter now. Thank you." That's when Michael knew this journey wasn't just for him. It was bigger. It was about breaking cycles, reclaiming identity, and giving other men permission to do the same. He didn't have it all figured out. But he was no longer lost. He was awake. And that, more than anything, was what made it worth it.